Red Faction is special, even for today. It introduced new technology called Geomod, which allowed for a new way of interacting with the game's environment. The Geomod, also known as Geometric Modification Engine, was pretty groundbreaking when it first appeared in 2001. It allowed players to alter game environments in real time by blasting tunnels, blowing holes in walls, and reshaping levels. Surprisingly, Red Faction is still unique with its technology, as no games really continued or built onto it in the last decades, except for maybe Minecraft. Red Faction did something most engines still struggle with: real-time destruction of the environment. Not scripted, not pre-baked animations, but actual geometry modification. Red Faction let you do something that felt impossible. Blast a tunnel anywhere you wanted. This wasn't scripted, this wasn't faked, this was real destruction, but how did they pull it off, and why don't we see this exact tech anymore? Before Geomod, FPS games were built on static polygon meshes. Walls, floors, and ceilings were solid and immovable. You could blow up barrels, sure, but the world itself, untouchable. Polygon meshes are static triangles defining surfaces. The trouble is, polygons aren't volumetric. If you blast a hole in a mesh, you don't suddenly have a tunnel, you just have a surface with a decal. To make true destruction, you need a world that actually has volume. Then there are voxels. A voxel is like a 3D pixel, a cube of space with material properties. Instead of a hollow shell of triangles, a voxel terrain is filled with discrete volume elements. Think of it like a 3D bitmap. Red Faction used a hybrid world. Polygons for buildings, machinery and mission-critical geometry, voxels for dirt, rock and terrain. Explosives could only modify those voxel regions, which is why you could blow a tunnel through a cave wall but not through a story-critical door. Voxels, volumetric pixels, act almost like 3D cubes of matter. Most levels were structured like this, the dark blue representing the polygons, the red as destructible voxels, and the dark red and light blue representing playable areas. In the Red Faction you can destroy and cave into any of the red area. However, if you dig too deep, you'll eventually hit the limit where you cannot dig anymore. If you hit that limit, it does not matter where you shoot. You will not make another hole. Polygons have limits to prevent crashing. Some levels were built differently, made mostly of polygons with some destructive voxel implementation. Primarily used for levels taking place indoors. Each voxel had material properties, rock, dirt, metal, etc., that determined how it behaved when destroyed. Again, it was caves, tunnels, and non-essential surfaces were made with voxel volumes, allowing a freeform destruction. This hybrid kept performance manageable, but while still giving the illusion of total destructibility. When you fired a rocket, the engine ran a real-time Boolean subtraction on the voxel field. Any voxels inside the blast radius were deleted. The engine then regenerated collision geometry around the new surface. The engine will read the material type, the blast radius, and method of destruction, and then calculate the explosion and delete the necessary voxels in a type of pattern like a calculate, which in turn leads to result type of explosion pattern. This created new geometry, then the engine itself generated collision data dynamically, so you could walk through the new space immediately. In practice, this meant the game dynamically created new walkable tunnels or craters on the fly. That was revolutionary because, unlike decals or prefab destruction, the geometry itself was being modified at runtime. The catch is performance. Remember, this was the year 2001, CPUs were running at around 1 GHz and GPUs had no general purpose compute yet. and the memory was tight. You couldn't simulate fine-grained voxel destruction at 60 frames per second. The system was CPU heavy since early 2000s hardware wasn't built for full destructible voxel worlds. Therefore, Geomod had to use low-resolution voxel grids, meaning tunnels looked chunky. It also limited destructibility to certain areas to keep collision and rendering costs manageable. This hybrid approach is the only way to make it feasible. Even with these constraints, Geomod changed the feel of the game. You weren't just navigating a designer's maze, you could reshape the maze. It blurred the line between level design and player agency, giving environments a sense of matter, not just scenery. Later, Red Faction games abandoned voxels for physics-driven destruction of polygon meshes, because it just scaled better in open worlds. But voxel-based destruction didn't vanish. Modern titles like Minecraft, Space Engineers, and Teardown revived the idea with modern hardware, doing what Red Faction couldn't do at the time. So that's the magic of Geomod. Hybrid voxel polygon worlds, real-time boolean interaction, and some clever compromises to make it all work on early 2000s hardware. It wasn't unlimited, but it was revolutionary, and it's still one of the boldest experiments in FPS history.